Hey Spartans, it's Dr. L with Spartan Mind. Today we're talking about how to stop shaming yourself. Shaming yourself is important to talk about because the language that we have for ourselves, about ourselves, actually matters a lot. And shame is something that can erode our sense of self and our self-esteem. Brene Brown actually said it best, that shame is differentiated from guilt in the sense that shame is a focus on self and guilt is a focus on behavior. What we know about shame is that it actually decreases motivation, and people with high levels of shame have higher levels of depression, anxiety, eating disorders, addiction. So one of the reasons why we're talking about shaming yourself today is because you can get in your head around some of the things that you feel bad about, but how you talk to yourself about them is going to differentiate what is shaming yourself and how you maybe change to do things differently, okay? So let me give you an example. Let's say I forgot my best friend's birthday, and it's 3 days after, and she sends me a text and says, hey, forgot my birthday, with like a sad face emoji or something like that. So there are two ways that I could talk about that in my head. One is I could say, I'm such an idiot, okay? That would be shaming yourself. Or I could say, that was such an idiot thing to do. That is different, because what I'm doing in that example is I'm separating myself from the behavior, right? So forgetting her birthday wasn't great, but I'm not an idiot for doing that. It was maybe just sort of an idiot thing to do. But the reason why that's so important, and I know it's a small distinction, but it's actually really key, because the more self-deprecating we are towards ourselves, when we say things like, I'm such an idiot, I'm such a failure, I'm such a loser, we don't feel good about ourselves when we say those things, right? And that perpetuates sort of this decreased self-esteem. But if we take the focus off of self and onto the behavior, we actually have greater availability to change our behavior next, because we don't think it's inherent. So if I were to say, well, that was an idiot thing to do, forgetting her birthday, I'm going to put a reminder in my phone so that next year that doesn't happen. I'm more likely to do that if I've separated myself from that. But if I just say, well, I'm a fucking idiot, then I'm not going to necessarily change my behavior, because I think it's inherent to who I am. And that's why it's really important for us to create that separation. So to change our language from self and more towards behavior. Think about it on the race, right? Let's say you failed an obstacle, and at the end you're super mad at yourself and disappointed because it was something that you practiced a lot, and you say to yourself, I'm such a failure. Well, that's shaming yourself. If you say to yourself, I failed that obstacle, how can I do better next time? That, again, is separating a little bit. You're not creating this story that it's you. It's just how you engaged in the obstacle. So again, with shaming yourself, just remember that that language is really important. Taking off the language from self and moving it on to behavior. And that's shaming yourself. If you like what you hear, spread the word. Tell your friends, subscribe and review on iTunes, or comment on YouTube. Then come tell us what you think. We're on Twitter at SpartanUpPod or Instagram at SpartanUpPodcast.